Another operation story that you might find pretty humorous. A teammate of mine and I were in a compound, so as we're approaching this compound, so we'll give you a little context, this particular compound in Afghanistan was known to be full of HME, so homemade explosives. And the compound was large, and the force that we hit this with, as we made entry, guys were literally spread out all over the place, and we were operating in teams of 2, and there was a lot for us to take on. K-9 was involved. They were doing a lot of sniff and detection. EOD was involved because there was a lot of stuff for them to be checking out and deeming safe before we would move in through other parts of the compound or into another area through a door. And me and a buddy of mine were literally standing outside. So if you can picture this, we're inside of a compound which has multiple little sections on the inside. And what we found really odd was we came to a door that was just a little bit taller than me. So it was a short door, not a full size, like man-sized door, normal door that you would see. And it also had a padlock, and it was a pull door. So there was a padlock on the inside of the compound, which wasn't common. We didn't see that very often. And it was a pull door, which doesn't mean anything other than the way that the hinges swing. So given the context of the situation, we knew that there were the potential of unknown fighting age males, and it was a known HME factory basically. So there was lots of homemade explosive devices. There was, as we were clearing the compound, we came across multiple firearms, machine guns, AK-47s, mortar heads. There was a lot of stuff for us to take care of. And over the radio, we kept hearing, you know, looking for K-9, looking for EOD to come to this location or that location to check something out before the assault force would move forward. And then as we're listening to the radio, me and a buddy of mine, we were looking at each other like, man, we should probably get EOD to check this door out before we enter. But at the same time, we were there for a uncomfortable amount of time. So both of us just kind of looked at each other and kind of gave each other a nod and shrugged our shoulders and like, well, it's just you and I, guy. What are we gonna do? Both of us, we were thinking the same thing without any words, which was awesome. And we decided to boot the door in. Now, the dude that was with me, he was a little bit taller. So I said, I'll go number 1, and I'm a little bit smaller. I'll get inside, and then we'll figure it out. So we give the door a little tug, no joy, but it wasn't a very it just wasn't a well-structured door. So I gave it a boot. Even though it's a pull door, I gave it a boot, and it got the desired effect. So as the door went in through the opening, and I made entry, you can imagine heart rate is through the roof, not knowing what's on the other side, but now we're committed. So me and my buddy make entry, and the funny part of this story is, as you can imagine, heart rate's through the roof, and as we enter, I hear this like, it's like, caca, right? So this like bird type of noise and structure flies in front of me. And with the IR laser, I see this thing fly in front of my barrel, and without hesitation, it was instinctually. I literally kicked this thing at a midair, and feathers went everywhere. And my buddy's kind of chuckling as he's clearing his corner. He's like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, I think we're in a chicken coop. And that's what it ended up being. It was a small room on the inside, and it was just full of chickens. So this chicken was spooked when we made entry, kicked the door, and it kind of flew up in my vision, and I punted this thing at a midair, and feathers went everywhere. Anyway, we cleared it quickly. It was a small room, but my buddy and I laughed quite a bit about it, which was a deregulation kind of stress relief, I guess you could say. Not knowing what was on the inside of that particular door. But funny stories that, you know, in that moment, that could have been very different. That could have went a multitude of different ways, but that is what we experienced on that particular time. And it's funny laughing and looking back at it now. So there's a dead chicken in Afghanistan somewhere due to my shin.